Right now, billions of cells inside your brain are firing messages at lightning speed. They're helping you understand my voice, recognize my face, help you pay attention, and even help you decide whether this video is worth watching. These cells, these are called neurons, specialized cells that help both send and receive messages throughout the body. So in this video, we're going to talk about the parts and functions of the neuron that help communication throughout the body. Now, the way you and I communicate is through words. I say something, you process, and then you decide how to respond. Well, neurons act very similar. There's a network of neurons in your body that's communicating. But instead of using words, neurons communicate using chemical messages. And for this example, we're going to use a chemical called acetylcholine. This is going to help us move our muscles, like move my head up and down, move my arms, or even move my legs. And this process is going to begin with a neuron receiving this message. So we're going to put that right here. Now, where does this actually receive the message? This is going to receive a message on a part of our neuron called the dendrites. Okay, what are these called? The dendrites. Right? They almost look like little fingers, right? Little branches, and that means something because the Greek root means tree because of tree branches. And what is the purpose of our dendrites? Well, these dendrites receive the message. Okay, whatever that message may be, receive the message, okay? And as we learn something, these branches or dendrites can actually get bigger, right? They get longer, right? Making the message more efficient. Now, if we actually zoom in, and we're not going to get too detailed, but if we zoom in on one of these dendrites, what would we see? Well, what we see is something called a receptor site, right? Think of like a gate that opens and closes. And this message, for example, acetylcholine, is going to land right on and bind to the receptor site on that neuron. I want us to think about that lock and key analogy. This gate, for example, is going to be our lock, and our key is going to be the message. Okay, in this case, it's going to be acetylcholine. Okay, and only acetylcholine knows the lock to that specific receptor. And once it opens or it binds to it, it has a secret combination that's going to open up that gate, and that's going to send the signal down, 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 and cause a chain reaction within the neuron to start the process. All right, so this is our initiation. The dendrite is receiving the message. The other main part of a neuron is what we call the soma. The soma, okay? Or, you've probably heard this before, the cell body. Okay, the soma or the cell body. What does this do? Well, instead of receiving the message, this is going to be more of the interpreter. It's going to process the message. Okay? Now, a couple things about the soma. One, you see right here, this contains the nucleus. Okay, we find the nucleus in the soma. That contains all the genetic material, right, the DNA of the neuron. It's going to help sustain life, right? If the soma dies, so does the neuron. And it's also going to integrate the information from the dendrites to decide, what do we do? Do we want to send the message? That's called excitatory. Or do we want to stop the message or inhibit it? That's called inhibitory. Maybe it's time to go to sleep. All right, so there's our soma. Now, I know this term doesn't always show up in every textbook, but there's a really important part right at the end of the soma, right where this tube is about to get. And this part is called the axon hillock. Okay, hillock meaning hill. And this is what I'm going to call the trigger zone. I know that sounds ominous, the trigger zone, but this is really important. Okay, so what's the trigger zone? If the neuron, okay, has enough stimulation, right? Imagine like a bug lands on my hand and I feel it, right? Enough of these receptor sites open up, letting this chain reaction of chemicals happen, okay? What's going to happen is an electrical charge, which is here, is going to start right here in the hillock, okay? And this charge will eventually travel down the neuron to initiate this communication with other glands or other neurons. So it's important to note, this is the trigger zone where we're going to have this electrical charge initiate. Do we know what this charge is called? It's called an action potential, okay? And I'm going to post a video up here if you want to get deeper, discussion about the action potential after you watch this video. That would really help. So this is called the action potential, which will travel down, okay? So what does it actually travel down? Well, it's going to travel down this little tube right here. Do we know what that tube is called? That tube, and I'll do a little marker right here, is called the axon, okay? So we've got the axon hillock creating this charge, and that's going to travel down the axon. So what does this do? It's going to send the signal, right? Send the action potential down the neuron, away from the soma, okay? Really, really important. Axons can be very, very tiny, microscopic. They could also be huge, a few feet in length. Now, notice this blue, these like blue little kind of balloons around the axon. Are those important? Absolutely. What are those called? These are called the myelin sheath. Okay, what are they called? The myelin sheath. Okay, we'll talk about why those are important. What do? They help speed up the signal. Okay, speed up the signal. Myelin sheath. We have the myelin and we have the myelin. Okay. Remember, we want information to go really fast in the body, right? If I step on a nail or I feel like I'm in danger, I'm in fight or flight mode, I want information to go really quick through my body so that I can react. And the myelin helps speed up that signal. And we'll talk about in a moment how it does that. Now, just for information, I think this is important, is not all neurons have myelin, okay? Some do and some don't. The ones that do, and I'll write this down here, are called myelinated axons, okay? Myelinated axons, okay? And in fact, this is what we call white matter. Do you ever hear the expression white matter? Okay, right? It means if you look like through a microscope and see part of the tissue, it's white. That means it's myelinated, okay? It means things go really quick. So this is what? It's about speed quickly, right? Now, if it does not have myelin, we're going to call that unmyelinated. So we have myelinated and we have unmyelinated axons. Okay? And instead of white matter, this is going to be what we call gray matter, mostly made up of somas and cell bodies, right? It's not about speed, it's about processing, right? So if we think about the brain, right, the top cortex is gray matter because it's not about speed, it's just trying to make sense of the world around us. So some do, some don't. We have myelinated and we have unmyelinated axons. Now, here's something interesting that I think is just relevant, is sometimes the myelin can be destroyed, okay? Sometimes it doesn't work properly, and this is a neurodegenerative disease, but we have something called multiple sclerosis, okay? Sclerosis, okay? Or abbreviated, you might have heard of MS. And what happens with this is the immune system mistakenly attacks the myelin on our axons. So you think of this as like being destroyed, right? So what happens with MS? The information does not get from point A to point B. The muscles don't work anymore. So just kind of add more information. This we mean by multiple sclerosis, damage to the myelin sheath, okay? Now, why also does the myelin make it go faster? Not only is the insulator kind of like a covering around a wire, but also you see these little gaps in between the myelin. Do we know what those gaps are called? There's actually a name for them. They're called the nodes. I love this phrase. The nodes of Ranvier. I love that phrase. Nodes of Ranvier, right? These little tiny gaps right here. Okay, what do those do? They don't just speed up the signal, they're going to give it an extra little boost, making it go quicker. So they boost signal, okay? So why does it do that? You see all these receptor sites right here? Well, most of them are concentrated within these gaps. So what happens is with myelinated axons is we don't just necessarily go through, but it's kind of like jumping from node to node. Node means gap. Ranvier is the name of the scientist who discovered them. So it's like, right, it jumps. Think of it like throwing a rock in a lake, right? You go, and the rock just skips over the water and see how fast it goes? That's essentially what the nodes are for. It's going to jump over each one to make the signal go much, much quicker, right? So we go all the way here, and we end right here, okay? All right, we're at our final destination, the end of the neuron. What do we call this? This is actually many names. We're going to call this the axon terminal. Okay? Also known as terminal buttons, right? There's other names for it. And this is going to, at the end, is going to release. It's going to release the message, right? We've received the message. We've had a chemical reaction, electrical reaction. Now we have to release the message to the next gland or muscle or neuron, okay? Now, if I zoom in, let's do it again. Remember how we zoomed in on a dendrite? Let's zoom in on one of these terminal buttons, okay? This is what we'll see, right? This kind of bulb shape, okay? And what's happening? Well, once the exponential, right, electrical charge travels down, it's going to reach the end of the neuron. Right here's our axon terminal. And what's going to happen is all of these messages, right, we have acetylcholine, are going to head down, right? It's going to fuse, and eventually they're going to be released, right? They're going to be released into the synapse, okay? This is the gap between two neurons, right? Neurons don't actually touch each other, right? They're going to be released in the neuron, and guess what's going to happen? The same thing. We have a receptor site, right? We have our lock and our key. It's going to bind, like a lock and a key, there's our key, to our receptor site. It's going to open up, right, our gate again, and the same thing, right? Our message is going to travel again. It's the same thing over and over again until the message gets from point A to point B. So we can imagine, what are we looking at here? It's another dendrite. It's another neuron, right? Telling me to move my muscles, move my legs, right? We have another signal. So let's do this. Let's walk through each process. Let's number it so we actually know what we are seeing, okay? So number one, we have receiving the message on our dendrite, okay? Think about tree-like branches, okay? And here's a nice zoomed-in version. We have our soma, the cell body that helps sustain life of the neuron. It helps integrate and process information. It also contains the nucleus of the soma. And then we have our axon hillock, which is going to trigger or start our action potential, right? Our electrical charge, okay? That charge is going to travel down the axon, number 4, right? It's going to travel down our neuron. And because it's myelinated, it is going to jump from node to node to node until it reaches its final destination, number 5, our axon terminal, right? And this could link to a gland. It could link to a muscle, it could link to another neuron, but eventually it's going to give its message to initiate that response. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, write a comment below. I'll see you next time.